Hello folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. You know, social media is a wonderful thing. As someone like myself who grew up and was well into my adulthood before YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and whatnot came around, I'm daily impressed by how magical it is, quite frankly. And for me now, it's given me an opportunity to get to know people all around the world who share our passion, boxing. And keep in touch, of course, with people, friends, etc. and whatnot, you know, wonderful stuff. However, we're all aware that social media comes with some downsides. And it gives really anybody with a keyboard an opportunity to express themselves, which is mostly good, but sometimes not. And I guess I must be doing something either right or possibly really, really wrong, because I've gotten some hate mail. Who knew? Some people have left comments, which thankfully the YouTube, the little people who work in the background for YouTube sort of stop, and I get to see them, and then I just don't bother to allow them. And because the Canada Boxing Channel email is here, I've gotten some emails. I've been variously accused of being a hater and a fanboy. It's kind of funny because I've been accused of being a hater and a fanboy about the same individual boxer, which I didn't think I was being inconsistent in my assessment. But anyhow, it's provided me with an opportunity to have a little bit of a smile and to do some research. So I decided to look up what the term hater and fanboy actually is, and to also then explain to people who are watching this channel where I stand on various things. So a hater is a term to describe people who constantly criticize or dislike something, often without a rational reason. Haters tend to be negative about a person, brand, or idea, sometimes out of jealousy, bias, or personal preference. While some criticism can be valid, haters are often seen as people who reject something just for the sake of opposing it. A fanboy refers to a person who are bad grammar, refers to a person who is extremely devoted to a particular brand, person, team, or franchise. They often defend it passionately, sometimes to the point of ignoring flaws or dismissing criticism. Fanboy originally came from comic book and gaming culture. That's why I wasn't aware of what the term really meant, though I could figure it out by context. But it is now used in many areas, including sports, tech, and entertainment. So there we go. Hater. I do not hate any fighter. I dislike some fighters because I dislike their style in the ring. I might dislike, sometimes quite intensely, their outside the ring behavior. I might dislike the way that they just deport themselves, for example, at press conferences. So generally speaking, for me, I prefer the Usyk, Ajit Kabayel, Dave Allen type of person at a press conference. Quiet, frankly a little bit boring, if it's entertainment you're looking for. And they usually say some version of, I don't have anything really bad to say about my opponent, but when we get in the ring, I'll try my best to be as professional as I can and knock their block off. Some version of that, right? Whereas, I'll be somewhat less taken with a Chisora or a Miller in a press conference because I'm not really super impressed with trash talking. Though I must say, both those guys are highly entertaining. But none of this amounts to hate. Likewise, I might dislike a person's fighting style. I'm not a big fan, for example, of Lawrence Okolie's style. I dislike a person who I perceive as cheating, bending the rules. So that can be Muhammad Ali, one of my favorite fighters of all time, holding behind the neck. It can mean person who's got a penchant for hitting below the belt. I mean, once is fine. 2 or 3 times over a career is sort of, yeah, okay, but somebody who's constantly doing it, you know, it's a form of cheating. Likewise, headbutting, right? You know, and then my dislike is on a scale. So, for example, you know, the occasional low blow or maybe leading with the head is far less egregious than somebody who's been jacking themselves full of PEDs in order to gain a competitive advantage. The latter will be quite despicable. The former, misdemeanor, shall we say. Likewise, we come to fanboyism. Now, I like certain fighters more than I like others. I like Usyk. I like Fabio Wardley. I like Inouye. I like Terence Crawford. I like Dave Allen. You know, it doesn't mean that they have to be an elite fighter for me to like them. I like Josh Padley. You know, Game. What a wonderful story. And it doesn't mean that I'm blind to their flaws. Muhammad Ali, like I say, was one of my favorite fighters of all time. I can dispassionately talk about Ali. He held behind the neck. He probably didn't win against Doug Jones. The fights with Sonny Liston have to have a question mark. He probably lost 2 out of 3 against Norton. And he most certainly should have retired after Spinks too. And I'm still saying he's one of my favorite fighters of all time, right? You know, so my assessment doesn't fall into fanboyism or hateism, haters, whatever they're called, right? If you're a hater, you engage in hateism, or just is it singular hate? I don't know. Anyhow, you get the idea. I mean, most of my sporting heroes are either passed away or at least long since retired. And I've said, sometimes tongue-in-cheek, the only time I'm a real fanboy, by the definition here, is when it comes to Sugar Ray Robinson. Though I also, of course, am intelligent enough to realize that Sugar Ray, particularly outside of the ring, led a life that we wouldn't want to hold up as the kind of thing that we'd want our sons to emulate. So there we go. I'm neither a hater, nor am I a fanboy. If I say I don't find somebody to be my cup of tea or not to my taste, it's just being honest and authentic. Like, for example, Ryan Garcia, an immensely popular fellow, hugely popular, massive social media following. And he's by far the top billing, if you like, on this upcoming Times Square adventure that's being planned. You know, he'll be the draw. He's not my cup of tea, but I don't think he's really aiming his marketing towards retired old white guys living in Canada. You know, in the same way that some people's music will not be to my taste, and my music probably won't be to their taste. It's quite possible to say, you know what? Ryan Garcia isn't my cup of tea, without being a hater. So anyhow, hopefully people who are watching this and, you know, feeling that this small YouTube guy is a fanboy or hater will take some comfort from this video and understand that I'm actually neither. If I see something I don't like and it's video worthy, I'll speak about it. And I'll applaud in cases where I do like. You know, that's the nature of being a human being with opinions. So there is, of course, ample room on this channel for people to have different perspectives. Totally welcome those. I have an ongoing chat with one of the regular subs about the merits of Daniel Dubois. We're not quite on the same page with respect to Dubois, but I respect his opinion, and I'm pretty certain he respects mine. You know, Those things are good. But to call somebody a hater or a fanboy it's kind of intellectually weak, to be honest with you. So, we should probably avoid that. Okie dokie. Thanks for listening to this little mini vent, which may or may not provide some clarity. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and keep an eye out for James of Porky's Corner fame, who's going to be a guest on this channel. So, wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day. Cheers. Bye-bye.